Back in 2016-17, when I was 12-13, I got back into collecting after a conversation with someone about AoE lockdown. I didn't get many figures back then, due to pocket money and terrible distribution of only Wave 1s of toy lines, so Legends class figures were always the best for me to get. And now Legacy has updated my favourite Legends class figures with the Prime Wars trilogy, but have they improved? Hello and welcome to Jinx, so today we'll be comparing the Prime Wars Insecticons to Legacy Insecticons. The Prime Wars lads have special moments attached to them. Kickback was the first that I picked up. I got it from Toys R Us in 2017 after finishing for summer in year 8. I took him everywhere with me that summer. I then picked up Bombshell from TFN in 2018, the last one that I picked up, and, like Kickback, he stayed with me all summer. And then finally that same year, I picked up Shrapnel, or Shrapnel to me and you, from the Entertainer during the Halloween half term in year 9. These three figures were a collecting highlight for me, still are, even if they were probably my first ever full collecting highlight. The Legacy ones? I received Kickback for my 18th birthday, I got Shrapnel the same time as Prowl, and Bombshell when I got Bludgeon. They don't have many emotions attached to them compared to their predecessors. So, let's look at them individually, starting in the order I received the characters. Kickback is great, well, the Titan's Return one that is. The way it looks G1, but with extra organic details makes me blush as it's adorable. He may not be as accurate as the Legacy version, but that means he isn't as boring. The Legacy one is good, but it's just, it really is bland. I love G1 accuracy, which is why I'm so excited for 86 Optimus. But this, I mean, as you can see yourself, it's a bit boring, not as boring as the other two, which you'll see later, but still boring. The Titan's Return one has insect all over him, and that adds visual excitement, which is what we need in these designs. Now, the articulation of these two is very different, but that's just due to the times in which they came out and the scales they're in. So let's start off with the Titan's Return one, my personal favourite Kickback, as you can probably tell. The head is on a weird swivel, it's very thin, it's not a ball joint or a hinges. Well, couldn't see that, there we go. The head can go up a lot, but that is due to the way it transforms. The arms are on ball joints and hinges if you really want to untransform him. Elbow swivel, bicep swivel due to the same thing as well. They're all basically figures all ball joints. Ball joints there, they can go all the way around. Ball joints there, but to lock in due to the transformation, and nothing at the feet. You can, however, move the wings around if you do so, please. That is Titan's Return one, which can fall over quite a lot. Now you have the Legacy one, which, as you'll probably see, is quite standard nowadays. The way the shoulders are done should be how Tarns are done, but they aren't. And obviously, due to the way it transforms, you can get like a double jointed elbow if you wanted. No wrist swivels, but he does have sword wielding wrists. He does have a waist. Legs can go back that far, they're on universals. Double mushroom peg there. Legs can't bend as deep as the Titan's Return one. Ankle pivots, which is missing on the Titan's Return one. Well, quite a lot of this was missing, and toe action. And that is Kickback. Now the articulation is obviously better on the Legacy one, which I won't lie. The Legacy one is probably the best figure overall, but I just prefer this one. Bombshell is my favourite Insecticon design, as that face is absolutely menacing. His Combiner Wars figure has no head movement due to the scale of the figure and only costing £10 back when released, yet it's still good. However, I actually find myself preferring the Legacy one for once, which I can't say for the rest. He just feels like Bombshell and doesn't have bug legs interfering with posing. However, I do also prefer the colour layout of the CW version, as that amount of purple brings your eye to him. And the articulation for these two is it's a bit like Kickback's articulation, very different, but they both have specialty joints. Start off with the Combiner Wars one, no head movement, as I've already said, but you can move that if you want to using a gun, which is a down and there's no head movement. But due to the way it's designed and stuff, it's understandable really. Backwards and forwards butterfly to transformation. You do have ball joints. On the shoulder you can position the bug leg however you want. You have elbow joint there, because it's a ball joint. You do actually have a waist, but that's also the transformation. Legs are on ball joints. You can't really bend much if you have the legs as they're supposed to be, if you can see that. And he does have thigh rotation. So he's not as good as Kickback, but he does have some special strength in the shoulders. And if he had a head that actually moved, it would actually look impressive. Now for this Bombshell, it does have a movable head and a movable head crest thing as well. And the head also looks absolutely terrible under there, so you keep it like that. I do prefer the CW's head, that is for the black paint. You do have universals on the shoulders, bicep swivel, more than 90-degree elbow bend. You do also have backwards butterfly transformation, full 360 at the waist, very tight. You do have universals at the legs, thigh swivel, knee bend, ankle pivot, and toe movement. So he's quite good. Obviously he's better than them, but by them I mean the Combined Wars Bombshell. Both alright at posing, really, aren't they? Shrapnel is by far the worst of the three Insecticons from both sets, in my opinion. The Power of the Primes / Filling 31 is a good figure, and like the rest of the Prime Wars Insecticons, made my top 10 list of the years that I got them. But he isn't as good as Bombshell or as perfect as Kickback. The Legacy one is boring. That is what I have basically said for the other two. The G1 designs can be great, but as figures they just aren't as much of a standout as anything else from the Legacy line. They're visually unappealing and a bit boring, as I keep saying. Now the articulation of these two is very, very different. I keep saying that, but it is. So you've actually got head movement on the Insecticon here, on Shrapnel. You do kind of have like a false ab crunch, but it doesn't really work because the head gets covered. Backwards butterfly if you really want to use it, but that's your transformation. Ball joints, like the rest of them, you can move the mandibles. He does have like a back crunch if you untab things. Legs are all on ball joints. He's the same as the rest, and he is the same as Bombshell, so there is no reason to go over him, apart from these bits can move. But like, he is just, I know I keep saying it, but he is boring. They're really good, but they're just boring. The Legacy bug modes are bland, especially Shrapnel and Bombshell. They are bricks of appendages, which is accurate to the G1 cartoon and the toys, but the Prime Wars are also bricks, but with shapes that make them feel more insect-like, and they work, especially Kickback, who even has a thorax, which the Legacy one tries to replicate with the stupid Enerson blades. Energon, Kickback can even fit a guy inside to replicate the Diaclone thing, which is amazing. Overall, if you couldn't tell, I think that the Prime Wars figures are much better. Whilst I have sold off every Prime Wars figure I own apart from Cyclonus, as it was the first when I got back into collecting, these have to be good to stay with me. So don't get me wrong, the Legacy ones are good. Once you've experienced the Prime Wars ones, there's no going back. Both are good and fit into different collections, however. But since I'm a hypocrite, I am not selling the Legacy figures. That's the type of collector I am. I have been jinxed, and this is when I look at the Prime Wars and Legacy Insecticons. Don't forget to my book out, the link will be in the description. I will see you in a minute to take a look at another character from the franchise we all love.